Hi, welcome to Edward Box Guitar Tuition. My classic album selection today is Thunder in the East by Loudness. This was released 21st of January 1985. It's 40 years old today. This was their fifth album, but it's the first to really kind of break them a bit in the American market. This made number 74 on the Billboard charts and was on the charts for 23 weeks. It's very good. So my feeling is this must have sold, 250,000 copies. And things look good for the band. I think this was mainly due, pardon me, to the probably decent rotation they got for their song Crazy Nights on MTV. And that's what opens the album. The first thing you notice on this album is how stunning the guitar sound is, the rhythm guitar sound, and how good Max Norman has done capturing the whole band and getting the right kind of sound for the band. Obviously this has a certain amount of 80s-ness to it, reverb and big drums, but it's just got, this is a special sounding album for its time. Akira's rhythm sound, his rhythm attack is something quite beautiful. And he's right up there with the very best metal riffers of his era. And in terms of his rhythm guitar sound, it may be absolutely one of the best, save Van Halen himself. I mean that in all seriousness. Crazy Nights has got a great riff. It's got this and this little Phrygian bit now. So he plays, I think it's in G, could be F sharp. But he plays this typical riff, but then he puts in that semitone. And he's got this lovely kind of crunch, but kind of quackiness to the tone. There's this kind of little bit of mid that cuts. 4 minutes, 5 seconds. It's a catchy track, this. Rock and roll crazy nights. You are the heroes tonight. It's got a hey, hey, hey bit. So Loudness's problem and the thing that made them really interesting is they sung in Japanese originally, and then obviously they sung in English but with a Japanese accent. So that kind of made them difficult for them to penetrate the market further, but it also made them stand out. So people checking them out, like myself, would enjoy that. Apparently the lyrics on the album, Max Norman just said, just come up with stuff, they didn't really have any meaning. But anyway, great solo on Crazy Nights. Remember, it's 1985, so Akira firmly sort of placing himself in the lexicon of guitar heroes in that period, which his big competition would have been George Lynch, J.K. Lee, Warren DeMartini, of course Eddie Van Halen, Yngwie Malmsteen, and so forth. He has quite a classical approach. He does two-handed tapping, he uses harmonic minor for his dominant minor. He has a quicker way with the whammy bar. He has quite a thin, sort of nervous vibrato, almost Paul Kossoff-ish. Angus Young, so it's quite intense, but it's not as wide as other players. But it's cool. He's a quirky player. To me, you can hear the obvious influences he's playing, but he's not a clone. Next track's Like Hell. This has got really chunky riffing. Again, I think it's probably in E. Really good, nice little pinch harmonic overtones from Akira. It's so tight, this album, you can imagine the band just playing in the studio and being absolutely on it. The drums are excellent. He was a great drummer, sadly passed away. Bass is tight. Loud. And Minoru Nohara, the singer, has a really good range. It's just his tone is a Japanese guy sort of singing a metal kind of Coverdale way. So, it's not as easy to access, I suppose, for the listener. Great solo on Like Hell, of course. Heavy Chains, kind of more crunchy riff here. Good again, 4:18. The arrangements are good on this album. It's 41 minutes and 35 seconds, 10 tracks. So tight. Then you got Getaway and We Could Be Together. Getaway's pretty fast, I think. We Could Be Together, yeah. I mean, again, Loudness sort of doing like a rock radio chorus. If you've heard the Lightning Strike sound, Let It Go, there would be a push for them to do that, and they pull it off admirably. Then you got Run For Your Life, Clockwork Toy. It's a weird G riff. No Way Out. That's got an open G riff, yeah, kind of like a Richie Blackmore kind of riff, which would probably be a big influence on Akira. Then you got the mass metal of The Lines Are Down. Then finishes with Never Change Your Mind. This is a kind of opens a ballad. You hear him playing the D chord, probably using a Rockman and something like that. I think the album kind of tails off a bit towards the end of it. My feeling with Loudness is the album you get by them that gets you into them will always be your favourite album. So it's always been Lightning Strikes for me. I think this record's got slightly better production, but I much prefer the songs on Lightning Strikes. But if someone bought this album or Disillusion, those are probably their favourite albums. There's people who really like Hurricane Ice for the same reason, but I think it's let down by a reverb swamped mix. So yeah, Loudness had their little moment really. Lightning Strikes made number 64. Then they got Mike Vasarian on vocals and things. Then they sounded like other bands then. By losing the Japanese singer Minoru, they lost that thing that made them stand out. But obviously that was, like I said before, it was a kind of barrier to them having further success. But this is it's a testament to how tight they were as a band. It's a testament to Max Norman. Much better production this than what he did with Ozzy. Although he kind of made his name with Ozzy, his production on this and Connie Hatch's Friction, the Malice album, License to Kill, the Lynch Mob stuff, Megadeth. That's really his stuff. But I think this might be his best sounding record. Absolutely superb. But that makes me sort of think maybe Loudness is just that we're a great sounding band. So yeah, check it out. 40 years old today. Loudness, one of those fascinating, unique bands in the history of hard rock and metal. Cheers. Remember, share and subscribe. Thanks.